here. Today we're gonna go over days 14 to 16 of the Hunger Habit 21-day challenge. Apologies for my quite a long break in between the days, um, but I had to catch up on a few things. But yeah, I'm gonna go days 14 and 16, and you can kind of continue using those as we progress. So day 14, I want to just kind of go through some notes just so I don't forget anything. um, so day 14 is another tool that you can use called RAIN. Okay, so and it's an acronym for different stages of what's kind of happening with this tool, right? So R is for recognize and relax, right? So when you feel the craving coming on, so we're talking here mostly about cravings that we know are not real true hunger cravings, but more of emotional kind of cravings. Let me just, this one seems quite high. Um, just make sure you see me okay. Yeah, that's better. So yeah, so R is recognize that a craving is coming up, and coming on, and relax into it. So recognize and relax into it. Don't brace, don't kind of just get ready for that craving till I just try and stop it, to try and block it, to try, no. So note, recognize of the craving coming on and relax into it. So that's R. Then accept and allow. Okay, so accept the craving as the sensation that's happening in your body at this current moment, right? So accept it and allow it. Because anything we resist persists even more. Actually, let me just put this on maybe a bit more light, guys. Just forgot to put the big light. So I hope you can see me okay. So yeah, anything that we resist or kind of try to push away, it persists even more. So anything you resist persists. So that's a good saying to remember. So yeah, allow and accept. So accept and allow for that, whatever feeling, the craving to be happening, okay? And then we go to I, which is investigate. So investigate and be curious. What is it that you're feeling in your body? So concentrate more in your body. What kind of sensation are you feeling? Is it tightness in your chest? Is it burning sensation somewhere? Is it a gurgling? Or is it like anxiety kind of in your body? What is it that you're feeling? So like I say, try and concentrate on the body sensations, but investigate and be curious of what is going on. How is this manifesting in your body, that craving? And then the 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 N is for noting or non-identifying. So initially it was non-identifying, that you don't identify with that particular with the craving. You don't identify with the craving. It's just like a thought or just like a feeling. It comes and goes. Or you could just note it. So whichever is easier for you to remember and makes more sense. So it's either noting or non-identifying. So that's rain. So yeah, so when you get this strong urge, strong craving coming on, try and do a rain practice. But intention is very important. So don't do rain with the particular goal to just stop it or block it, or for the craving to go away. Yes, most times it'll probably will, but just do it for the awareness, for the practice of actually being aware and being there and present, and sitting with your craving more than anything. Okay, so yeah, because if you go with the goal, I'll rain the hell out of this craving and it'll disappear, right? Well, that's kind of the wrong intention to go at it with. What your intention should be is to be with it, to be in the present moment. All of these, recognize the cravings coming on, accept it, allow it, don't resist it, investigate, be curious, and kind of noting it, non-identifying with it. It's all about being with the craving, allowing it to happen, and watching it almost from the side, as almost, kind of getting some distance. So that noting part, you note that craving, or you note the body sensations happening, but it's kind of putting some distance between you and the actual craving, where you understand that you are not the craving, you just have this sensation of craving, or that sensation happening. Okay, but you are not it. That's kind of the non-identifying. It's the same as what we'll go the next one. Actually, we'll go into more details. Day 15, so that was day 14. Practice the rain method. When the cravings come on, you've got the cravings tool part 1 and part 2 already. We've talked about that previously, but now you've got another practice to try, is rain, to note, according to all the letters that I've told you. So recognize, accept, investigate, and note. Okay, and then for day 15 in the Hunger Habit book, the Dr. John Brewer discussed noting in more detail, talked how you should try actual noting in any time of your life. It doesn't have to be just when you're eating or when the cravings come on. You can try noting anything. So you go for a walk, say, to a forest, you can note that you seeing a bird or hearing a bird song, for example. You smelling the pine, or you smelling the forest floor, or whatever it is. So basically he's saying there are 6 categories of noting that it's helpful to think about. So one is seeing, hearing, feeling body sensations, so it's feeling something. Feeling could be emotions, I suppose, too, right? But it's more body sensations. He stresses. Then smelling, tasting, and thinking. Okay, so these are the 6 categories of noting that you can do. And so he's saying you could just go through your day as you do each habitual thing. So for example, you brush your teeth, so maybe note how how warm the water is on your hands when you wash the toothbrush, or how does it taste, how the toothpaste is smelling, how is it feeling on your tongue, and things like that. When you shower, how does it feel when the water runs over your head and over your skin, the temperature, the sound of the shower, things like that. So you could note what is it that particularly you can note or smell or see or hear. So it's basically being more, he's saying it might seem more work to start with until you get into the routine of it, but then once you get the hang of it, and if you do it more regularly, it will become more kind of natural way. But basically the whole point of noting is to be in the present, here and now, more, rather than being dragged in your head to thoughts, where you're ruminating about the past, you worrying about the future events. So noting here and now and concentrating on these sensations, 6 different sensations, is basically, pulling you from your thoughts and from your head and putting you right here in the present moment, and being, yeah, more present. So that's the whole idea. So that's day 15, noting. So yeah, so try to do that. So today is 15th, so yeah, it's good time maybe to do that, when if you brush your teeth tonight, or you're having a bath still, or or if you're having some food, note what you're smelling, what you're seeing, what you're tasting, that sort of thing. So yes, try to do some of noting today, and then just continue to do that noting throughout your days as it goes on, okay? Because it's just continuous practice to pull you into the present moment. And was thinking, you don't necessarily need to get, so when you catch yourself thinking about something, so worrying about the past, or regretting about the past, or worrying about the future and things like that, instead of getting into the details of it, just note that you're thinking, just say thinking, and then just get back to the present moment and see, if you're seeing something around you, or if you're hearing a sound, or you're smelling something. So bring yourself into the senses and into the now. So yeah, so if you catch yourself being pulled into all of the thinking and into your head, just say, you could say it out loud if you're in the right location. You could say thinking to yourself, or just in your head, silently say thinking, and then continue to pull yourself into this present moment, and use what other sensations you have all around you to ground you in this present moment, and drag you out of those ruminations in the past and the future. Because that's a lot of Buddhist masters said that, this is how to be happy, is to be here and now, in the now, and not, because if you go digging in the past, a lot of time there's regret or guilt or shame, or some stressful memories or something like that. Or then if you go to the future, you might be worrying, you might be, um so that could, that just pulls you out of enjoying the present moment. Because for me, even thinking and planning for the future, the life can just pass me through with, by wishing, oh, I wish I had like my retreat in the mountains, or whatever it is, whatever your dream is. Or I wish I had this bigger house, or this whatever, or better body, or whatever. And if you just dream it about, something in the future, it, you might be missing the actual moment of now, when this is the only true moment where we are, and we can be happy and choose to be happy now with where we are, what we have. But if you constantly either regret the past, or dream about the future, then we are missing the whole journey, because the real life just happens now in this moment here. So anything, anyway, this thing to just kind of think about. So that's day 15, noting. And then day 16 is called fire your committee. Okay, you might be thinking, what is that? Fire your committee? But all of us have this internal either committee or internal voice, that's saying things to us. So whether it's saying, oh, you've done it again, you've failed, you kind of, you're not worthy, you can't do this, who do you think you are? Normally it's all kind of negative, right? So what Dr. Judson Brewer says, And it's normally kind of, well, he says name each different kind of voice or opinion as a name. So if you get a lot of shame, so the shameful Gertrude, you can say, or if you get a lot of what is it, guilt, guilty Robert, or whatever, just name your committee members, as he called them, in your head, right? To kind of to take away their power. So when you name something, you kind of put that bit of distance again, you kind of dissociate, that it's just this thought or this voice in your head, but it's not you, and that you don't have to actually listen to it. So yeah, so that's kind of the exercise for day 16, is to think of what kind of voices you have in your head, or committee members, internal committee members in your head, and name them. And normally, we don't get very many encouraging committee members. If you do, that's great, right? So keep them on board. It's always good, but name your negative committee members that have these, different kind of things. So let me just name a few, just so you had an idea. So shame, self-doubt, so I have that quite a bit. Inferior, despair, not worthy, a failure, guilt. So things like that. So think to yourself, do you get a lot of that? And then name that committee member, whatever name. And then as soon as that comes into your head next time, just name it. All right, Tom, I don't need to listen to you, or I had enough, Deborah, or whatever it is, right? So it kind of you name and take away the power of that negative voice. You kind of almost make it like a little game, if you like. And this way you putting a bit of distance between you and actual thoughts, because that's another thing, the whole thing of meditation, because mindfulness meditation is so important as a practice, because once you do it a few times, a few months, you start realizing that your thoughts just continue to pop in and out, but you are not your thoughts. You are the one kind of thinking the thoughts, but you don't need to identify with those. You can just let those go, or keep on concentrating and focusing on what you're focusing, like in meditation. So the same thing here, you are not your voices in the head, and you don't need to listen to them. You can choose whether to pay attention to them or not, right? So when you are naming, have these either funny names, or just naming those internal voices that are not wishing you well, that are, quite negative, and pulling you down. When you name it, you, like I said, putting some distance between you and that thought, and it's easier for you to not identify with that. So that's day 16, fire your internal committee. And this kind of rounds out, finishes part 2 of changing the rewards of the habits that you're doing, reward system of the habits you're doing, by reframing, in using those different tools and techniques of awareness, of having the craving tool, or doing rain technique, noting, using all of these to actually start noticing real results and real feedback from your body, from your emotions, from your thinking after eating or succumbing to cravings, for example. So that's part 2 of recognizing what you're getting out of it, recognizing those negative patterns that you get from specific eating specific foods, following the specific cravings. What is your body telling you? What's your emotions and your whole like kind of thinking and your whole state telling you after either overindulging, eating the wrong foods, things like that. So being mindful of the results and the reward values and kind of switching those over in your head, being more aware of negative values of these. And then part three, we are going to be introducing, so days 17 to 21, the author is introducing a bigger, better offer. We'll be learning how to choose the alternative, a better offer for the from the instead of coping with eating when your cravings strike. You introduce a bigger, better offer, a different way to either behave or to eat, when those cravings pop up again. So yeah, so I look forward to catching up with you then. And for tonight, I hope everybody's having a lovely weekend. See you guys.